home and also what's new in home decor. I'm actually very excited to hear what the latest colors are and the styles, more streamlined and all of that. So let's get started. And Ellen, do you want to just say a few words before we start, and also to introduce Deb?
Yes, I would. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, great. Yes, welcome everybody. Thank you for joining us. I wanted to say it's been a pleasure sponsoring this series and introducing all of you to some of the people that I work with every day. Downsizing is multifaceted. It has many components, and while it's not difficult, you do need the right professionals on your side, which we are introducing you to every week, which is so fun. I also wanted to invite any of you to reach out to me if you're considering downsizing, so we can make sure that you get started the right way. And my email is ellendudleyre@gmail.com. So feel free to reach out. I will be speaking more on downsizing in 2 more weeks, I think. But today we have the pleasure of Deb Ellis. Deb Ellis is the principal of Deb Ellis Designs, a Massachusetts-based interior design firm and staging company. She has a team of 6 with an ever-growing project portfolio, including staging and multi-scaled renovations, utilizing our industry partnerships to create beautiful spaces. They are proud that all of their clients are referral-based and that a large percentage of those for whom they stage retain them to continue to design their new homes. So we are so lucky to have Deb with us today, and I'll let her take it away. Thanks, Deb.
Thank you, Ellen, and thank you, Tracy. And I want to thank also the Newton Senior Center and Temple Manual for bringing everybody together for this event. I just want to talk a little bit. I believe the format will be we speak for 25 minutes or so, and then questions and answers. If we wanted to open it up and people wanted to put a comment while we're speaking, they just had to have a question answered at that time, we can look at the comments and try to we can try to speak with you at that time. So we decided to, stage smart, sell fast, make more is our tagline, and we really believe that staging will help people to do that. To if you do things the correct way, you can definitely get more value and less time on the market. So I'm just going to. I have a lot of visuals during this presentation. Oops, sorry. This is our information if you'd like to connect with us, which we will show again at the end of the program. So we have 15 plus years of staging experience in design. We go all over Massachusetts, not just the city and not just the burbs, but everywhere. And this is our contact info. So what is staging? So staging is basically the art of preparing a home for sale. What we want to do is we want to appeal to the greatest number of people in your market. And that can include cosmetic updates, functional updates, such as, if we'll walk through your home, we see if you need some grout fix, or you need to paint some walls, you need your floors refinished. We really want to try to get your house in the best shape for a small output of finances to get a very large payback at the end. So, and at the end I wrote, a well-staged home will spend less time on the market and sell for a greater profit. These are just, oops, sorry about that. And I don't know that I actually can see, I'm sorry, if people are asking questions, I'm sorry, I don't know that I can see it on this, the way this is formatted. So if you can see it, Marcus, are you able to?
I think we're actually all able to see just the public chat there. So it doesn't look like anybody's asked a question to the general group yet, but we can definitely, I think it'll ding too, as soon as we get some sort of message in there.
Oh, and I want to introduce Marcus as well. Marcus works with me. He's one of the really important team members. He sort of is my right-hand person and helps us with every aspect of what we do, from staging to design. So, all right, so I'm just going to put up the screen that talks about the Massachusetts Association of Buyer Agents said that 90% of buyer agents say staging affects the buyer's view of the home. And there's some pretty good sized numbers in here. Staging helps 81% of buyers find it easier to visualize a staged property as a future home. Staging prompts 27% of buyers to overlook property faults. Buyers linger in staged homes an average of 40 minutes compared to just 6 minutes overall. That's actually that's a pretty big influence that staging has. And then bottom line, Ellen, I know you work for KW, so bottom line, we picked something from the KW site. The bottom line, staging is more than an exercise in tasteful interior design. It's a business decision that can have a huge financial impact and return and timeline. Okay, staging breakdown. I just want to talk a little bit about what we would expect if you had a stager come into your home, whether it's me or anybody else. So you want to have a consult to determine the scope of the project. So somebody would make an appointment, and we do virtual and because of COVID, or we can do in person. And we come in, we walk around the house with you, we take a look at your beautiful space, and we try to determine exactly what the needs are. So, and this is where we put together a list of notes to figure out what it is. So if it's, are we just determining layout? Are we determining how much of your furniture should stay or go? Your accessories, how much do we need to pack up? How much do we need to, how much clutter do we need to put away? It can be anything from, a simple, change of color on the walls and a, dining room that we need to stage, or it can be something much larger where we have several vendors and workmen coming into the house to make some changes. So we create the plan, and everyone is different. We will then create a to-do list for you and for ourselves, and then we follow the list so that we can get your home on the market when the broker is really looking to get this done. So we consult, like Ellen, as you know, when we go into a house, we often figure out and work backwards. So we figure out what the timeline is, and then we figure out who exactly we need to bring in. And because we have these really strong connections with the people that help us to get the homes ready, we can get many people in a very short amount of time to work on your home. So that's when we figure out the updates using our contacts. And then once everything is done, then we bring the furniture, the accessories, the rug, art, all into the home. And sometimes we also take out and store things that you have. We'll help you with that. And then at the end, your house is sold for more money and more quickly. And then once the purchase and sale is signed, then we just take everything out. Makes it very easy. Okay. Sorry. Top 5 staging tips. And Marcus, if you want to raise your hand, if there's anything you want to add, let me know. Declutter and organize. This is probably the most important step. And it's not always a step that we're involved with. We are helping you to figure out how to do it, but obviously you know what you need and what you can store. And but we can help you to figure out what it is that should be out and should be put away. So decluttering and organizing is very helpful. Eve spoke to us last week. She is fantastic at helping in the process. Someday I would absolutely reach out to her, and she has a myriad of people that come into the home and help, or we could also do it simply ourselves. Depersonalizing. What that means is taking away this as being your home. So removing photos of your families from the wall, sports memorabilia that you may have won at an auction, things that make your house not feel like somebody else's house, we'd want to pack up and put away. Neutralize and update. So lots of us, including myself, I love color. I love color. I live in lots of color, but not everybody would like my color. So what we would do is we would take away things that make it, give objections to the people who are buying the house. So if we have red walls, we really would want to paint them a grayish or a lighter color. Some things we would want to do is if we have a very interesting bathroom, but only interesting because it's Art Deco or has a very specific style, sometimes we'll update the bathrooms. Countertops, sometimes countertops are, you know, from 30 years ago or 40 years ago. We love them. We don't mind living with them, but somebody, a young family or somebody coming into the space may want something very different from that. So neutralizing and update is very important. Setting the space. Setting the space means we walk through each room in your house and we try to figure out the way it's set up at the moment. Is that what a family coming in is going to want to see? So, you know, is there a room designated for every space? So is there a room that's a bedroom that should be an office? Is there a room that's an office that should be a bedroom? It could go either way. You know, what are we doing with the dining room? Is the dining room now a playroom and it should go back to being a dining room? Things like this, trying to figure out exactly how things would work for a family that might want to come in and purchase your home. So we try to figure out the best solution. Lighten and brighten. Again, it sort of goes again to the paint colors, to the window treatments, to, you know, the furniture. If you have dark, heavy furniture because it's what you like, but we want it to look spectacular and beautiful for the photos, then we may want to extract some items and then bring in things that'll make it work better for the visually. And a lot of times people don't remember that when you're on MLS, these little pictures are very, very small when you look at the multiple listing service. So people look at them very quickly. So everything has to look as it should for the 1 second people are scrolling through, so that it catches their attention and that people continue to look and therefore make appointments with Ellen or to see the home.
Can I interrupt for one moment?
Yeah.
I just wanted to go back to your neutralize and update. Yes. And let people know that they can certainly count on their realtor to help them determine what is really necessary. You know, I don't want you to scare them and say, we're going to be changing your bathroom or your kitchen. Like, those sound like really expensive fixes. And in some cases, those are necessary, but the realtor is the one who will help you determine if you will get your money back. So don't be overwhelmed by that. Mostly it's paint and things that are not as expensive.
Yeah, and sometimes it's as simple as pulling out some furniture and putting in some other furniture, or sometimes it's rearranging the furniture that exists in the house. So that's a great point. Thank you for letting me explain that a little bit better. Appreciate it. Okay, I'm going to start just sending some pictures of some. Sorry.
I actually have one thing to add onto both of your points for that is that the amount of, I think it's dollars you're putting in versus dollars out, and like Ellen mentioned, it's something you can definitely go through with her and she would have an accurate market understanding of your area. But the other thing that I don't think Deb managed to touch on throughout that was that you can do something very simple as painting the cabinets. You know, if you have those dark, traditional, heavy cabinets, you can go in and have someone spray those, and it'll look like they were just put in. You know, look like you have a brand new kitchen, and for a fraction of the price. You know, pop off the countertops, and you have a whole new kitchen for a fraction of what it would cost originally.
That's true too. All right, so maybe we should get to the visual. So I'm just going to go through a series of stagings. They're mostly before and after. This is just the first photo, and the before and after comes after. But so as you can see on the left, oh, excuse me, on the top, these are befores and after. So the first one, you can see what we did is, you know, we didn't do any, maybe we did a little bit, we did some painting on this one, but, you know, we redid the shelving, and we added some very nice furniture to complement the space. And, you know, it wasn't a big expensive, as we discussed, Ellen, renovation. It was just pulling in some things to complement the space. And also bringing it up a little bit, bringing it up also to make it a little more contemporary, even though it's a very traditional home, for a buyer that we think would be interested in this space, or that the broker thinks would be interested in this space. So that's, the next one, you can see we did a big change on this one. This one was the yellow, obviously, was not something that most buyers would like. The floors were also sanded in this one. The space is exactly the same, but it wasn't used well on the left side. It, 3 chairs and a small table as well didn't really make this a user-friendly space. So we created a space that allowed for, larger family parties, gatherings, and kept it neutral in today's colors. We changed the light fixture as well. And, so I hopefully it's much more appealing for an incoming buyer.
And the woodwork on the ceiling just shines that much brighter with a neutral paint color.
Absolutely.
That is gorgeous ceiling.
Absolutely. Yes. Thank you. Yeah, those are beautiful plaster moldings. They're great.
It looks like we changed out the light fixture there too. I just noticed that.
We did change the light fixture. Yep. Okay. This one was what Marcus was talking about. This is a staging we did, and the cabinets were really worn. They were stained. They were sort of looked like they were falling apart. So what we did here was we just had our really good, we have a painter that we work with that uses a lacquer finish. So it looks like factory painted. So we asked him to just paint the cabinets and the island, and you can see the shelving to the right of the kitchen, and it looked like an entirely different place when you were done. And this particular, many of many of the listings have offers very quickly, and this was, within a couple of days. Okay, this one, I know, I'm sorry, it's a little bit blurry. This was a house by the water that we did, and the furniture was fine. It just had an older appeal, and it didn't also necessarily show the space in the best light. And what we noticed in this room is that the windows really were the focal point. You were looking out into the bay, and your eye was being stopped by the colors in the room. So we just started from the beginning and brought light, neutral blues, greens into the room. And right now, when you walked into that room, you could really, look right through it to the windows and really get a good sense of where that house is. We want to pay very close attention to focal points in every room, and usually there's only one. So the most important one in this one is the window. If the window wasn't there, it may have been the fireplace, but as it stands, this is the window. Any other comments, Marcus, on this one?
Oh, it looks like we have a question. So Bella is asking, what is the cost of lacquering the kitchen cabinets for a typical kitchen?
It can range. I mean, a small kitchen might be somewhere like $3,000, and then from there on up, you could, like, we just did a very large bathroom vanity and makeup table and a jacuzzi, and it was somewhere in the range of like $1,900. So it's much less. If you were to replace the kitchen, it would be somewhere in the range of probably 15 to 20. So it's just such a fraction.
Thank you, Bella, for that question. Looks like she has another question about what is the cost of a typical first consult?
So the first consult is just 3 hours of time, but we usually do it for like $375 is the consult. If we have a broker, which we work with a lot, Ellen, because we have such a nice relationship with her, we'll just usually do the consult and not really charge, because we already know that Ellen knows what we do, and most of our clients that work with Ellen will, I wouldn't say we don't charge. Usually Ellen, I guess, would say that we charge Ellen and Ellen would then fold it into into something she does for you. So it's not a no charge, but it's not a charge to you.
Can you hear me? Hello?
Oh, we can hear you. Hi.
I have a question to ask as far as this is staging. So when it gets to the point that the house is sold, does all the stuff that you put in leave? Or does it stay with the person who bought the new home?
No, so that's a very good question. So It doesn't stay with the home per se. We have had at times people ask us if they can purchase the furniture, and sometimes when we're able, we will do that. It's not included in the house. One other thing to touch upon with that is sometimes people remove their items and they're concerned because then their items aren't there, and their house that they are looking to move into also isn't ready to go. So we allow 3 months for all the staging. So you can live in it for up to 3 months with no additional fee if you need that.
So if I'm selling my home and the going price for my condo is say 400,000, that would be 400,000 with probably some work that has to be done. Why would I go through all of this expense to do this staging when I would just could bring my price down to 370? Because I would have spent the 30,000 to make it look to get up to 400,000. I don't understand what benefit it is for me to fix up my old house when the price of the houses on the market are up and down and all over the place and can be negotiated.
I can answer that, and I think Ellen can answer that as well. Do you want me to
Yeah.
start?
Gladys, what I would say is when someone looks, if your house looks like everybody wants it, if you've put the investment in, and it's not $30,000, we're talking about a whole lot less money than that. But if you can make your house look like everybody wants it, you might get 450. You know, it creates a bidding war when your house looks so good that so many people want it. It typically goes over the asking price. But again, it's very particular for your neighborhood. We would have to do the comps and see what the market is doing in your town. I can't say that as a blanket statement, but that's one reason to go through this, is to get more money. That has been my experience with working with Deb and with staging in general. You make the house look so good that more than one party wants it, and then the price goes up.
I just interject, Ellen? So people, their personal furniture goes into storage, and then it sits there for however many months, let's say 3 months. But they're living with the rented, the staged furniture. And then if they end up moving to another condo or another house, then they take it out of storage and have movers move it again. So there's 2 moving fees, correct? So
yes, but people like Deb and Eve have relationships with these companies and they make it very seamless. And also, not all the furniture goes. You know, Deb uses her keen eye and says, we can keep this, we can keep this, but I think you'd be better off with a different dining room table, but your couch is perfect. Or, you know, she uses her expertise to tell you, you don't have a whole house typically of someone else's furniture.
Yeah,
Okay.
whole house are empty houses. So if the house is like a new to the market and it's a builder that just put it together, or someone's already moved, generally it's just adding and subtracting key pieces. Yeah.
Take the time, the effort, and the money and have staging done in my new house. I don't care about my old house in the sense that I've kept it up. It's beautiful, and there'll be a buyer that will come along and pay the price. I would rather take this money and have somebody come and do my new home.
The idea, Gladys, is that your investment will create you more money that you can bring to your new home. So we're not trying to take away from any profit that you're going to incur from your home. We all love our homes. And let me just say, if I were to sell my home, I'd bring in another stager to give me a second eye, because my eye for living in my house is different than someone else's eye. So I think it's just about what's good for you. So if that's if that's the idea, that you're not comfortable having people come in and move things around, but that's okay. But that you're going to absolutely 100% get more money, and you're going to have to have the house for less time on the market, if you are adding and subtracting to have other, with another view of somebody else's interest. So I think we all love our homes. You know, I've been here for 23 years now, and you know, I love my, would Ellen love my home? I don't know. But I know that if I was buying my home, I wouldn't want to keep it like this as I was showing it to Ellen, because I would want to make it a little less me and a little more her and most people that are walking through the house. Does that make sense?
It does, but I'm at the point that I don't care about the old house. I'm getting rid of it. And I'm repeating myself.
That's
So,
it. Can I
Yeah.
just, and I'm just going to move on to the next slide, but what I'm going to say is what you said is exactly it. It's no longer your house. We're creating it for somebody else. And that is, you just answered your own question. You don't care about your own house anymore. Someone else will though. So, all right, I'm going to move on to the next slide.
well, and it will sell. I know it will sell. I mean, I have enough to know that it will. But thank you so much. I appreciate your answer. Thank you. God bless your work.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
This is another slide that is in the same house. So again, it was just a darker room and didn't open up well to the rest of the house, created kind of a stop at a flow when you went from the dining to the kitchen. And this just sort of opened it up and gave it a better, lighter feel. Let's see, next one. Again, same house, you know, we moved around and put a little more contemporary and lighter colored stools. And then you can see the dining room through the opening, and the kitchen as well. And, you know, everything sort of flows. Again, your eye doesn't stop. You get to see the whole space. Okay. This was another, oops, sorry. A living room, you can see on the left, the people that lived here, you know, they enjoyed reds and darker colors and less contemporary furnishings. And we just came in and we actually added a coat of paint, I think, to this house, and we just made it more usable. We brought in a sectional that gave more seating to people and opened up the room. So now we only had to have one chair on the right instead of blocking the window and the fireplace. And it just created a better visual flow for the space. And on the bottom in the same condo, you can see they had very dark, very oversized furniture and just lots of stuff. So again, just organizing, putting things away, changing the color. And I think in this one, we also redid the floors because they needed it badly on this level.
We did.
And you know, a little bit of art and a little bit of bright color, and that's that room. Anything else to add, Marcus?
I think we actually did some work on preventative maintenance in this unit, specifically around some of like the roof. What's it called? I'm blanking on the name. The skylights. We went in and took care of some of the things that might cause someone to do a second look at it. You know, there was no known issues with it. It just happened to have been there from previous years. And so we just went in, we painted again.
Let's see. All right, here's another one. You can see actually the people were basically packing, but they did have a lot of things in the house. And again, you can't really see it, but out the window, they were on the Boston Common and you couldn't see it from here. So because there was so much going on, you didn't really notice it, and you can really notice the window and the flow and the water, and it just was very, very nice. And again, the setup with the there wasn't an area for a dining area. We had to create one here. And so when somebody came in, that could be an objection. We don't have a dining area. So we tried to think that through and create enough seating and the dining area in that space.
It looks like we have a couple questions. Our first one from Lynn is, she asked, if you want to change a light fixture and the new buyers want you to leave it, how do you handle it?
Generally, if you're changing a light fixture, it's not an expensive light fixture. We're changing it to something that is appropriate for staging. So maybe it's $100 or a couple of $100. So it would be okay. I think at that point, it would be a negotiating term, but I would allow the buyer to do it. A lot of times people are taking out light fixtures that they really love and adding it in an expensive light fixture so they don't have to give that one to the buyer. So So that happens a lot. Does that answer the question? I hope.
It looks like we have Bella again. She said, I think a staged home looks much better than one not staged. It's like looking at a model home versus an empty house. It looks better staged. Yes, I think we would all agree with that. So thank you. And then Vicky, can the seller contribute to determining the quality and cost of the replacement, flooring and cabinets, etc.?
Oh, of course, it's always your choice. It's your home. We will always allow you to make a choice. We have things, general guidelines that we sort of follow because we've done it maybe, you know, I would say thousands of times over the years. So we would give you some options that we think would work, and especially thinking about the trends of today. And then we would allow you to make your decisions for sure.
Thank you for your question.
Okay, there aren't too many more stagings, but this one's, you can see, as we were talking about before, this would be an empty house that we staged and again brought the colors together using the current colors of today, which are a lot of grays. We worked to keep it all contemporary for this particular house. We pulled in the orange from the artwork and put it in the pillows, and on the side tables we added a little bit of the orange for to complement as well. So, you know, just bringing in again grays, whites, neutrals. These are big colors of today.
Deb, let them know that you also bring in the artwork. And
Oh yeah, you bring in everything, artwork, everything that you see in a newly staged space that has nothing in it. We bring all of it in. That's right. Artwork, rugs, accessories, furniture, lamps. Again, just an empty space with actually a very good light. And, you know, we just brought in, again, making like in this room, we could put in a bench and a seating area and a king size bed and 2 end tables. And I think sometimes people wonder, what can I fit in a bedroom in a master? So we try to put in the largest bed possible. And then we try to add any accessories that we can, or seating for people, so that they have a good vision of what that room can be for them. Again, another empty space. You may look at this space and think, and I think I would, that you can't fit a dining, small sofa, large sofa, two coffee tables in the space. It looks small, and on the right, I think it looks larger, and you can tell that you can really have a lot of people over for a nice event. Any other remarks on that one, Marcus?
Sorry, I just wanted to say that the furniture you bring in, you make it look so much more warm. You kind of looking at a cold space there. You have a lot of industrial view from the city outside. And once you bring in that furniture and the rugs and the soft touches, it really brings in sort of a homey connection, I feel, that buyers are able to create an emotional connection with, which is key, I believe.
Okay, again, you can see this person needed a lot of decluttering. And so we worked with them, and then again created kind of a larger space where you're highlighting the windows. I mean, even the light fixtures pop a lot more. We use the black in the art to pop the light fixtures in this particular scenario. The gray floors are blend in really well with the furniture to just sort of create one big space that flows really well. This is just a nice office. It just looks like a larger office, a little bit less declutter, a little less clutter. And obviously, you know, packing away all of their things really helped create an interesting space for somebody who is coming in. Again, we took the colors from the rug that existed and brought it in and pulled them through to the couch and the accessories and the throw pillow to help with some of that as well. So this was an staging that we just did recently. It was an empty staging. And this one we tried to create a little bit of warmth to make people feel that what they would feel like if they lived there. So not only do we create the bedroom, but we also did some work in the closet. You know, and when you actually look at your own closet, it's a good idea to think about color. So if you can go from light to dark or put similar colors together, fold clothing out so that the seams are facing you, it really helps to create a nice presentation.
It looks like we have another question from Daniel as well.
Sure.
He said, I noticed that you use smaller rugs. I've heard that larger rugs make a room look larger. Do you agree or disagree?
I think it depends if we're setting a space. So yes, I think large rugs can do a nice job of making a room look larger. Sometimes where availability too is we'll have a 7x10 rug, or we'll have a 5x8. So some of it is that. Larger rugs are often custom sized, so it's not necessarily a staging possibility. Sometimes we do custom rugs. But yeah, I think you're right. I think there's a little bit of both. I think sometimes it sets a space, and sometimes it isn't necessary. So,
Yeah.
anything else? Okay, so in this one, he's a very nice man here. They lived here. They lovely guys. They lived here for quite a number of years. I again enjoyed living there. Love their pink moldings. Love their pink carpets. But we just knew if somebody came in that they really would need to be updated. And I think there's quite a difference in the before and afters. Again, this is their bedrooms and their family rooms. Again, darker, without darker artwork, not as contemporary, or light and bright bedding. All of that really helps to sell. Okay, and this is oops. These are options like we talked about. So here's a situation is at a staging that we had some older vanities and some older flooring, and the people really wanted to get a lot more for their house than they would have had they not kept it. So in this case, we actually replaced their vanities at a very, very good price, and their flooring, and created, for many years, they had a makeup room they felt that no one really ever used. So we created just more storage that didn't exist in the space. And the results, I think, speak for themselves on this one. And an outdoor space. With the pandemic, outdoor space is huge. So on the left is the way that it was found when we came. That we knew that we needed to really put a lot of effort into creating a gorgeous space for people who are coming in. So we did. We added a lot of, we brought our landscaper in. We brought a lot of flowers and trees in. We brought in a much lighter, more accessible outdoor furniture setup, and this one again sold immediately. People loved it. Okay, on to interior design. And tell me if we're moving at an okay pace. Are we doing okay?
You're fine. I have a question actually, just between. So I don't know if other people are thinking this, where do you get all this furniture that you're using to stage? Do you have like a storage warehouse? Because what worked in one of the rooms, you said there was a rug and it had some gray and yellow, so you pulled that into the room that you were decorating, but that may not work in another house. So where do you have this, like, you pull it from a hat? Like, where's all this furniture coming from?
That's a good point. Yes, we have a very large storage space, and we keep all of our art, accessories, furniture there. But we also will do things, if we have a particularly small space, or we will source things that we need if we go into a house and we have enough time. So like, for instance, we're staging a place this week and we definitely need like a very small fold down table to push against the wall because there's not enough room. We may not have that, but we will get that because we need it for that space. So, but 99% of what you see in there are things we already have.
And one more question, maybe this is more for Ellen, but newer houses. I live off of Brookline Street in Newton. There are a lot of houses that they take down and they build new houses. So there's a house on Brookline Street, and I walk by and I see that somebody has staged this house. It's right on Brookline Street near Loris Lane. And I'm just wondering, from the road, it looks beautiful. I'm wondering, in your experience, do people, when they buy the house, it's a new house and the staging furniture looks pretty new, do they tend to buy it with it because it looks so beautiful how they stage the rooms?
They often will ask us if they can, and if we are able to, we will. Sometimes it's hard to let go of all of the furniture because we may need it for another staging, but we often will allow it. or we can help them to replicate it, which is when the design comes in, right? People are asking us afterwards, can you design our house? And we're happy to do so. Well, I have a funny story. I just went to a client's house. So we've been designing her house piece by piece over the last 10 years. And we started as a staging client, and she actually took all of her like bedroom furniture and brought it into her new house. And when I walked in, I said, oh my gosh, it's still here. Like 10 years later, you still have the staging, and she loves it. So it all works out fine. So we can do both. Yeah. Okay, interior design is very different from staging. It is the art of creating an aesthetically pleasing space, marrying function and fashion. I'm all about function. Function, I think, is as important as fashion. We have to figure out what the use of the rooms are and how you want it to work. So a lot of times people say, oh, you're an interior designer, that's so fun. It is fun, but we also have a lot of work. We do a lot of research, coordinate, manage the details, follow up. So there's a lot of extra things that go into creating a space, but we really love it. It's what we do, and we enjoy the process. And we do everything from, and this is what a lot of interior designers will do. We do everything from furniture to paint colors, and then full renovations, partial renovations, helping select lighting and artwork. We have it all. So then I'm just going to show you some before and afters. Oh, we'll go through this quickly. I can't even see the screen. Hold on. Design trends of 2021. So a big thing with the pandemic things are changed, right? People are looking for different things than they were. So livable luxury, people really want to live in a comfortable space now. Versatile furniture. So versatile furniture, things that may be able to move from one room to another, or that you might be able to have smaller pieces to create new spaces within a room. Home offices, people are looking, and this is important to know for when you're selling your house, a home office or two. People are very into home offices. Closet, functional and fabulous closet spaces. So we work with a couple of really great closet people. You can do anything with a closet now. You can light it. You can have shelving, shoe shelving. You can have, it's endless possibilities. You can have 3 or 4 different finishes in a closet, or you can just make it very basic and just meet your needs. You can put baskets in, or shelving in, or hooks in, for backpacks or hats. Just, there's so many possibilities now. Grays are still in, but we're going a little bit darker this year. Ultimate gray and urban bronze are these really nice, deep, rich grays or grazes. Earthy palettes and textures are here. People are doing like with rope and shell and metals. People are mixing up finishes, and people are really having fun with earthy palettes. Tiles. I don't know if people have seen, there are a lot of interesting shape tiles now. People are using all sorts of shapes, not just rectangles or squares, but just very fun. And painted tiles are very in now too. So people are creating sort of like a nice piece of art on their floor and on their walls. Edible gardens, I thought, was a fun one. People are, especially in the cities, but everywhere I've seen, people are, instead of just plants that are plants, people are actually like growing a lot of herbs and things that they can use, because it's a nice thing to do and have during the pandemic. Appliances are now trending, brushed silver is always going to be in, stainless steel, but also there's new appliances that are white ice and slate finishes as well. And they're matte, so that you don't see the fingerprints. Wood floors, wider planks. So a lot of us have the typical oak in our houses, and now we're doing wider planks, and multi-sized planks, which are kind of interesting. And then lighting, soft gold finishes, mid-centuries, and larger pieces are being seen in the marketplace. Any questions about that?
I have a just quick question, and probably needs a longer answer, but for many of us, let's say they're not selling their house and they're living in a house that was redecorated in the 80s or the early 90s, and they don't want to spend, a lot of money fixing up bathrooms and kitchens, but they just want to paint and maybe do something more economical. What would you recommend for people on this Zoom call if they don't have the funds to bring their house into, 2021, but they want to get it just cosmetically a little bit better?
Sort of like the same way I would do when I walk through to do a consultation on staging. I'd find out what the real issues are. So, you could, again, just changing countertops if you wanted to, or even changing hardware out can really pick up a space, like just your cabinet knobs, your hardware. Again, changing out lights can be very inexpensive. So things of that, things like that. Obviously paint can be very inexpensive, and we actually have a lot of very inexpensive painters. So we use those a lot for our staging and for our design clients. There's just like lots of little things. Window treatments, you can buy inexpensive window treatments in the marketplace and really make a whole room look completely different. Pillows, adding a few throw pillows to a space to bring in another color. There's so many things. Marcus, do you have other suggestions?
I think just to touch back on that, I think it's, for everybody has a budget, and, being very transparent about that with any service people that you may bring in is important, so we can maximize our value to you and bring in, the most for your spaces that you're looking for.
I'm going to show through the pictures quickly so then you guys can ask questions. So this
I
is sort
have a question.
Oh, sorry, go ahead.
Oh, sorry. From Daniel, it says, do you need to stay in the same color palette from room to room, or can one room be gray, another room blue, another room beige, etc.?
So you can do anything that makes you happy, for sure. And when we talk to our clients, that's what we think about. We think about every client is different, and what's good for you is maybe not good for the next person. But it's nice to be able to pull through something. So if you have a gray accent, you might pull that through from room to room, even though one color is blue and one is green. I would definitely say complementary colors. So colors in the same family. So if you have a blue and a gray, there's an undertone. Some are warm and some are cool. So if you can pull through the same undertones from room to room, that really helps. Does that answer the question? I hope. All right. Oops, sorry. Just going to do some before and afters. So this is, again, the house was purchased like this, and then somebody came in and they really wanted to change the style. It's not that often an expensive update. They just painted the wood, they painted the railing, and they put in a new runner. So one of our clients did their kitchen over, and they really wanted a fun kitchen using navy as an accent. So we did, and they also wanted a very soft floor. So this is a soft underside of felt. It's not a typical ceramic tile. And then we added navy on the floor and on the shelves in the middle, just to make it a little more updated.
And Deb, those open shelving, that's very in right now, right?
Yeah, very, very in. Exactly.
Not a cabinet, but an open shelf. What do people typically put there? Like plates or?
Decorative things. I mean, some people, millennials, often use it for more plates that they would use every day, and glasses. A lot of us would just put in accessories. And then you can see the height of the cabinets have changed over the years. They were stopping lower, and now people are bringing them all the way up to the top of the ceiling. This is a bedroom we did as a design job. This is what it looked like before. And then, we just brought in very soft tones. Again, the windows were a real focal point here. So we wanted to make sure that our eye was drawn to the back of the room. And this is, custom. We did do some custom pieces in here. Marcus, do you want to say anything about this room? You helped a lot with this.
Oh, I think that something I'd like to point out for this one is that all of our vendors here were utilized is made in America. So everything here was constructed by our vendors in the southeast. So it was all handmade, which is just fantastic.
Again, this is a client who might be on and a friend, but and this is her son, Jake, on the bottom. But we did, again, she had brought what she would have said, I think she told me, is that she had a number of decorators come in and they never could figure out layout. And that was the most important to her, was that she could get everybody to sit together and really enjoy the large space that she had. And also she just wanted to go with different colors. So we chose purple and we went for it. So we had fun with this room. And this is a bathroom. Again, you know, wallpaper is coming back in, but it's a little bit different now. And we replaced, but kept really things in place that in the areas that they were, because the layout made sense in this bathroom. We just added more storage and more neutral 12 by 24 tiles, which are really in right now, and gave them medicine cabinets that they did not have before and a different kind of soaking tub. This was a recent powder room update. It just needed to be updated, but it had, oh wait, sorry. But we used, she showed, this client had some black and white going throughout the house, and we just brought it into the bathroom. And we created a custom vanity for this particular client too, which was the marble vanity that you see that was, it really came out beautiful. And these are just pictures of some bathrooms that we've done for some clients. This is one particular house. So, you know, turquoise is sort of a big punch of color right now, as well as blues. She wanted one bathroom to feel very much like a spa. So we brought in the stones and the bamboo tile in the back. And then the other one, she just wanted one punchy powder room, which a lot of people like to do. One room, one small bathroom is you can do something bright and exotic. So we did it in that particular bathroom. And this is for design, different than staging. This was her old living room and kitchen area that we converted. So again, getting rid of the darker, heavier furniture and bringing out the navies and the chartreuse colors that are in today, and added a lot more lighting. Again, this is the same client, closer picture. This was her old dining room. We opened up the space, and the kitchen, you can see we sort of moved walls a little bit and brought in, again, the navy pattern tiles that we spoke about before that really are in right now, and created a really interesting new kitchen for her and dining room. This one was one of our favorites we just finished. This is a house, the house that you saw in the beginning that had the stairwell that we changed. This was a room that was used as an office, and we decided each room in the house what was going to be the new function for the room. And this room, she really wanted a bar area. So we created with our architect a bar area that fit very well. And as you can see, the mid-century lights are very in. The gold palette metals that we used are very in. It's a very functional space for someone who wants to have a large party. And again, a solarium. We just took out the old furniture and made it light and bright. And also, again, the seating is great, but because you can fit people in all together to sit and enjoy each other's company, it's not as piecemeal. And I think that was great. And we got rid of the AstroTurf, which was a big plus.
You wouldn't put a coffee table in the middle of that?
The coffee table is coming.
Oh.
Very good point. Again, kitchens that we just changed. We changed some walls around, brightened up the space, put in an island. This is, Ellen knows this, so this is one I purchased and did for myself. It was a flip, and we were able to make a very good profit on it because we created something that clients really wanted to see. Oh, and then this is the last one. This is a before picture. It's a barn that was completely reconstructed for living space. And that's the end result of the living space. So we created 2 bedrooms, a bathroom, a kitchen, a living area. And actually this is an Airbnb now and it's doing phenomenally.
Wow.
And that's the bathroom that goes with it. So again, just created a bathroom, glass, and we did some glass and marble and custom pieces in here, but it's a beautiful space. And that's it. And this is, again, my information, my email, my address, my phone number, and feel free to call me or email me if you have any questions, and happy to take questions now.
So it looks like we have a question from Bella. It says, I find that in some of the photos and some of the before and after, the photos are taken from slightly different angles.
Can you take the screen sharing off?
And the scenes are different. So I think that she's asking, is the direction of the photography matter?
Yes, in the best of all worlds, we would have the same person came take the befores and afters. It would make it a lot easier, but usually it's one of us taking the pictures as we're walking through the house through the consult, or just before we stage, and then it's often the professional photographer or another person taking the after. So we don't always have those pictures with us when we're taking the afters, but we try to match them up as much as possible.
Deb, how long would you say the trends last? You know, like right now, I know the gold is in. The gold, you know, pulls on the hardware and the lighting. You know, how long do you envision that? Like, how long was the last trend of the silver? Everything was silver, you know, before it was, I don't remember what, bronze? I don't know.
So it's a good question. I think that the other showrooms will tell you they don't know. They have no idea how long trends last. I think you can look at certain trends like gray. I mean, gray has been here for like 8 or 9 years and isn't going away anytime soon. Finishes are a little more trendy. So, you know, I think you're probably good for 3 or 4 or 5 years, but I think beyond that, nobody really knows. But, you know, mid-century, for instance, is huge right now, right? I read somewhere where it's not going to be as big next year. I tend to doubt it. I think it'll be big for a long time. So, you know, it's hard to know. It's a good question.
Deb, is oversized furniture or smaller furniture in? Years ago, you know, we had this, well, you showed a room, it was like a solarium with a very, very oversized couch. So some rooms do still have the oversized seating, but then do other rooms, do you put in smaller pieces of furniture? How do you judge what to do there?
So I think the trend is sort of towards transitional furniture. So transitional furniture tends to be cleaner lines, you know, not the big bulky arms, less pillows in the back, you know. So I think that's the trend now. But again, when somebody does their house, if somebody is comfortable with a oversized couch and it fits in the room, we don't push against it. It's all about your own style, right? Some people are very traditional, some people are transitional, and some people are crazy contemporary. What we would do though is, and you know, you could do this as well. If you had you could tape things down to see how they would fit before you put them in the space. Or what we usually do is we usually have a floor plan person come in, and then as people are looking at furniture they're interested in, we put them in the space on the plan. And then you can see, like, if you want an oversized couch, but it's a big room and it fits, great. I think that's fine. So I think it just depends on what fits. You know, you wouldn't want to put a big oversized couch in a very small, narrow room.
So you mentioned grays have been in for the past 8 years, and I know that you put on the list something Pantone 2021.
Yeah.
Color of the year is ultimate gray. I actually cut that article out of the Globe. Yeah. So I have it here, and it mentions just what you said, the Sherwin-Williams and the different colors, but they also talk about a lemonade color, which reminds me of the color that I had in my bedroom probably many, many years ago. So, but the grays, you're saying that they were a lighter gray the past 8 years, and now they're more of like a darker hue, or?
Yeah, there was, what we're seeing now is that that there's a darker hue coming in, because people were always doing light and bright, and only really doing a darker color in like small key areas. But people are going for cozier. I think it's because we're also doing less open spaces, maybe. You know, the trend is now to close off spaces, not have as much open because of the pandemic, really. So I think people are looking for a cozier space that they can work or live in now.
And you, just one more question, and I don't want to hog the questions. You showed stairs. There was like a runner, and one was like red on the side, and one was a lighter color. And you said the stairs were painted. So were the stairs?
I think the treads were the The stairs were painted. We did do stairs that were painted. Not everybody likes to do that, but and they were not painted, sorry, they were stained. So they were stained.
Oh, you said, okay, okay. So they were stained a very dark. So
Yeah.
was, the stairs were originally what was on the left, and they stained it because it was stunning what they did.
Yes, I
Yeah.
agree.
Yeah, yeah, beautiful. Any
Thank you.
more questions?
It looks like we have a question from Daniel. In a 3-bedroom house with a large eat-in kitchen that seats 8 to 10, would you convert a small dining room or a bedroom to create a home office for staging purposes?
Marcus, what do you think? I'll let you go first.
So I think from a staging standpoint, I would consult with your real estate agent, Ellen, in this case, to ensure, what market value was calling for in a 4-bedroom home market. I'm sorry, in a 3-bedroom home market, and ensuring that, you meet the qualifications for that bedroom first off. And then second off, I would say in this instance for staging, our home offices have been doing very successfully. I think in a lot of the stagings we've done a home office and a home office space. And especially kind of playing to people's needs and wants during this pandemic. So yes, I would go with a yes on that one. In that case, a home office all the way, as long as your real estate agent professional advises you to.
Well, I had a 1-bedroom, and we rearranged it to put it was such a large bedroom that we made an office in the bedroom.
Yeah.
That was the right answer for that.
Yeah.
It just depends. If you don't have 3 people living in the 3 bedrooms, you could convert one of the bedrooms to an office. It really does depend on the space, as Marcus said.
Great. Oh, perfect. I agree with both.
It looks like we have another question too. So where do we begin to sell? A real estate agent first? Does your company, Deb, work with a variety of agents?
We do, but we love Ellen. We do. We work with a large number of agents. We feel very particular about our relationships with them. Ellen has been, we've been working with her for probably 10 years now, and she's been amazing. But yeah, we work with many, many agents.
So I think the other part of that was, where do we first begin to sell a real estate agent first? And I think it also goes both ways. There's two pieces of that, one for the interior design and one for the staging. And the staging is where you would come in with an agent, but you can bring in an interior designer at any time to your home. We can always come in and take a look and sort of listen to your wants and your needs that are going on, and adjust it and update it and refresh it to make it yours.
So let me ask you, so if one of our participants called you and they had you come into the house, they weren't selling, so they don't need the staging part, but they want to give their house a little bit of an uplift, I guess is the word, to make it look now again 2021 instead of 1975. So so you come in and you say, well, here are my recommendations. So you reach out to the painters and the decorators that that's how it works, or do you tell them what to do and then they go and they hire their own people?
We do. Generally, we like to work with our vendors, and the reason is because we know them very well. We've worked with them for maybe a dozen years, and then also they will give us preferred pricing for our clients, as well as I can call them at 1 o'clock in the morning if I really need to, or 5 o'clock. I can send them a text and they will answer me. And they, in this kind of market, especially where people are watching HGTV and, sick of the spaces that they're in, people are so busy, and we don't have a problem getting our people to do what we need them to do when we need them to do it. So I guess that's sort of my answer.
People can also focus on one room, right? They could have you come in just to do, let's say, just
anything. Yeah, we
it
can
doesn't
do
have to be an overwhelming that it has to be the entire house.
No, we could do. We could pick a paint color. That would be. We have no minimum of what we would like to do for people.
That's great.
I just want to say that Deb and her services are similar to a travel agent, whereas you could do it yourself, but there's not a lot of reason not to use her services, because she gets you a better deal, because she knows all the players. She knows who's good, she knows who's bad, she knows she only works with the ones that are good. And like she said, she gets amazing pricing. So it's kind of like a travel agent. Like, why wouldn't you work with them? They're, you know, they're going to tell you where to go on that, you know, excursion because they've been there and they've done it. And it just makes much more sense. So I highly recommend her, because not only for her tremendous eye, but also because of her connection. She's got good connections.
Well,
Thanks.
this was wonderful. Thank you, Ellen, so much for sponsoring the series. We have another program coming up next Tuesday. And Deb and Marcus, this was wonderful. I think we all kind of learned a lot, and it's wonderful to see the before and after. I mean, unbelievable what you can do. And in some cases, there was one room where I think you just had it was just a bedroom, a simple bedroom, with like a bed and maybe a small window, and the space that you created next to it. You know, sometimes when you see a very expensive home with the windows, the creation, the before and after is a little different. But when you just have a blank, like 4 walls, and you can see the difference, that's really where it's very interesting. So thank you so much for giving us your time, for your expertise, and we really appreciate it. And we put the contact information up on the screen, and if anyone wants to reach them, they can also email me as well. Thank you so much.
Thank you. And
Thank you.
Thank you,
what I
Tracy.
really appreciate is that you both care so much about your clients, both of you, that you were able to put this together for them to really help them through what's not an easy time to navigate. So Ellen, Tracy and Ellen, that really speaks to you. Ellen, as a broker, that's why you're so fantastic and amazing. And Tracy, I can see you're just, but the people must come to you for a little bit of everything, and you probably have all the great answers. So thanks again.
This has been a wonderful series, and I think some people may be in the process of moving or selling or thinking about it, but other people I think are just spectators, and they're really just enjoying the talks, how they can fix up a room, or how they can declutter a room on the other talk that we had. So we're all enjoying this. So thank you so much, and we'll see everybody next Tuesday at 1 o'clock, and I'll send an email out next Sunday for next Tuesday, and it's entitled "What's in Bubby's Jewelry Box?" And let me just click on that.
Yep.
Yeah, yes, "What's in Bubby's Jewelry Box?" And so what I encourage everyone to do is have a couple of things next to you. And if you have questions, you can, maybe do like a show and tell, like, I have this vintage ring, what should we do with it? Or how should, that type of thing. So I'll send an email out, remind everybody, and stay warm and stay safe. It's a little icy out there, so be careful, everyone. And I'll see everyone on Thursday at 1 o'clock for Zumba Gold. Thank you. Thank you, Ellen. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Very enjoyable today.
Thank you.